We created this illusion for women to think that men have it easy getting sex by just going out and select a woman like she's a snack in a vending machine as she just drops in his hand. Which evidence clearly shows that does not happen for 80% of men. As I said earlier, to make women comfortable, we have to lie, and guess what? It works.
Special Agent, do you understand your mission?
Yes. To create as many weak men as possible in order to make women feel good about the poor decisions they make in life, without having to deal with the consequences, and men challenging them with logic.
And what if that strategy doesn't work?
Then we lie on them, knowing that the law will always work in our favor. After all, who are they going to believe?
I like that. Glad we're on the same page.
Greetings everyone. Welcome to Male Conversations Unlocked, the classroom for men, where common sense is not something you were born with but what you were taught. I've also seen women shame men from high school and college for not making a ridiculous $500,000 like the athletes or rappers, but then go on to get pregnant by a broke thug that can't read and write because he was so-called confident when all he did was lie to her and borrowed his rich friend's car, which so happens to be the guy you ignored. Which in turns bring you into saying he's bitter because the looks and your in-betweens doesn't meet his standards.
That's so true. It happens all the time. Average men can't go into a room with 2,000 women and get 80% to sleep with him. He would only get 2% if any. An average woman can go into the same room with 200 men with the desire to just have sex, and at least 85% of men would sleep with her easy. And that's just an average woman. So imagine an above-average female. We created this illusion for women to think that men have it easy getting sex by just going out and select a woman like she's a snack in a vending machine as she just drops in his hand. Which evidence clearly shows that does not happen for 80% of men. As I said earlier, to make women comfortable, we have to lie, and guess what? It works.
So it's not that he's bitter and cannot get laid. He's just smarter. Understands what he can't control, more confident in himself, and just doesn't want to be laid down with you or other women he has placed in that category.
Seventh method, charge of fanaticism. The man is accused of subscribing to an intolerant, extremist ideology, or of being devoted to an ignorant viewpoint. You're one of those right-wing wackos. You're an extremist. You sound like the KKK, Hitler, youth, Marxist, or more anti-feminist Saninists.
Let me say this. If women believe that they should wear whatever they want or carry themselves however they want, just don't get mad when men don't take you seriously as a police officer while wearing a stripper outfit or see you as a Christian woman going to church while dressing like a thought. A man will treat and address you or approach you according to how you carry yourself. And since men are visual first, your decorum determines what category you're placed in.
And that brings me to say this. Women are free to do what they want to do, but they are not free to get what they want to get if it involves the opposite sex.
Avoid this lie, ladies. Use your senses and think carefully.
Eighth method, charge of invirility. The target's sexual orientation or masculinity is called into question. Are you gay? I need a real man, not a sissy. Or you're such a wimp.
Now this is a famous one. This mostly happens when men reject certain types of women or women in general due to their behavior or physical appearance, or even worse, when a man corrects or holds a woman accountable for an immoral action, or better yet, tells you the truth. Let me tell you something. If you're a disciplined male who doesn't accept dumb behaviors from modern women with westernized mindset, then that's when they pull the gay card.
Yes, it's on social media every day. 9. Charge of overgeneralization. The target is accused of making generalizations or supporting unwarranted stereotypes about women. I'm not like that. Stop generalizing. That's a sexist stereotype.
I can safely say this. If you don't want to be seen or viewed as a negative stereotype, change the way you market yourselves. If you don't want to be considered as an overly emotional woman, then don't get mad if you're a side chick and the guy doesn't upgrade you to wife. Because you suddenly think you deserve better. If you don't want to be sexually objectified, then OnlyFans, BBL surgeries, and being desperate on Instagram trying to look like every other woman will not make it any better. And also, if you want to be respected as a woman and not be seen as aggressive and combative, then stop acting like a damn man and learn feminine behaviors.
Well said, my friend. Well said. 10. Charge of misogyny. The target is accused of displaying some form of unwarranted malice to a particular woman or to women in general. You misogynist creep. Why do you hate women? Do you love your mother? You are insensitive to the plight of women. You are mean-spirited. You view women as doormats. You want to roll back the rights of women. You are going to make me cry.
I think that if telling women the truth so they can snap out of the illusion that if a man likes your picture on Instagram or other platforms, it translates to him wanting to marry you or wanting to buy you a jet is considered misogynistic. I would rather be considered a misogynist than pander to a woman.
I agree. And that's the mistake women make. I think women are the biggest misogynist of the two genders. Here's an example. There are 10 men in a room, and there are 3 women. One is in a relationship. The others are single. Of the 2 single ladies, one of them weighs 300 pounds. She begins to say that she wants one of those guys to be her boyfriend. Of the 10, 9 of them are in shape, and 1 is not. The 9 in shape guys aren't showing any interest in her, and she pretends not to know why. The other single woman who knows truth to make her feel good and entitled says to her, "You don't need to lose weight to get a man that has exercise as a part of his lifestyle, is successful, and has a lot of women lining up to date him that in fantastic condition. You don't need him, he should need you, and don't worry he missed out." Now tell me, who sounds more like a misogynist?
Yay, you have women that instead of offending her for the better would comfort her and convince her by saying things like he's probably not into women anyways.
11. Charge of instability. The target is accused of being emotionally or mentally unstable. You're unstable. You have issues. You need therapy, weirdo.
Here's where women become a walking contradiction. Society has trained women to view stability as unstable, and instability as stable. This is why when you often see men start to focus on making something of themselves, it becomes a problem to women because it means that they would have to compete and or work. So you would see women in the categories of the career woman at 40 years old who believes that having a doctorate degree should make men develop an erection, or a woman who is a single mom of 15 children claiming that men who chooses not to date or marry her are immature and broke.
Hey, that's why I'm rich.